to my gas money, I can say, why did girl?
Man from the Leo, GK, but really boiled down to key 10 my ratio. Puffing up and up in my grace like inspirations. I got assurance, so I know that I pray. I check the life lane, but how to four lanes and full blood.
Welcome back to Camera Farmer. This week, we're not going to do the camp snap. We're going to have a look at another camera that I like to shoot with. And this one I've been shooting with for, has to be over 5 years now. It's the DJI Action 1, the very first one. This one looks slightly different because it's in a small rig. Is it small rig? Yeah, small rig frame, just to protect it even more. They're tough, but I'm very clumsy and I like things protected as much as possible. So even though small rig frames can be a bit expensive, any frame, put anything on your camera to protect it. So, and these are worth it. They've got little cold shoe parts, so you can stick things on them and lots of mounting points. So they're quite good. Now these cameras are wonderful for filming. I have the new one, the 5, and it's a huge step up, but we'll do that one another time. But these are great for photography, especially street photography. You have a really wide angle, an obvious sports lens, really wide angle to capture everything, which just makes things not always too like an old skate video where it's all distorted, because there's a de-warp on this, so it takes it away a good bit, all the distortion. But it does give it a certain look. And if you turn these images into black and white, they can look really nice. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go out, I've got an idea where I'm going. I'll figure it out once I'm there. But as you see, I'm still wearing my beanie on my bald head because it is freezing. Still cold, still complaining about it. I think I'm fine with the cold until I come into the studio and it's cold. But anyway, this has a 12 megapixels still. Sorry about all the background noise. I have neighbours and there's lots going on. I don't know if it's picking up, but doesn't matter. The video, you get up to 4K, 60 frames a second, 3200 ISO, HDR. It's got rock steady on it. Now, rock steady is stabilization. Irrelevant for like taking pictures, to be honest, because it's so wide. I mean, everything's in focus with it. The only problem you'll have with this one is at night time. It's not great and it really struggles a bit at night. But if you put it on a tripod or something or a wall and shoot with it, you can get some okay things. Like that, the video is fantastic. Even though this is an old one, it's so usable, it's so good. I really enjoy using it. But this is what I like to take pictures with, because it just has, like all the cameras that I use, I sort of stick with them because it has a look. It's sometimes hard to describe what that look is, but it's something that to my eye, I prefer. It's something that I like looking at. It's something that puts across what I want to see. Now, big screen on the back. Brilliant viewfinder. Now, this, I use it kind of half and half. I shoot from the hip like with a camp snap, but I also give it a glance. If I'm shooting DSLR or mirrorless, I use the viewfinder if it's available every time. But with this, I kind of look at it, just make sure I'm looking at the right thing, which you've always got something, especially if you're shooting people. Oh, that's another thing. It's been pointed out that I don't really take pictures of people. That's correct. I avoid them at all cost. But I'm trying to amend this. I'm going to try and take pictures of people. And I might do it with this. I don't know. I'm not a fan of people, so I just avoid them. Incredibly antisocial. I'm not antisocial. I just prefer not to be around them. But I might do this and walk someplace and actually get some shots. Because it's distorted as well, because of the extreme wide angle lens, which is, I think I have the width here. The lens is an f2. It's a, I didn't write it down what the width is. So this is a great review. This is giving you all the details, none of them. But when you get that look, when you go close to person, they do distort, and it can look very dynamic and look a lot of fun. And for some reason, this takes quite contrasty shots. So without doing much, you put it to black and white, you get a very 1960s reportage sort of picture, and that looks nice. Not always, of course. I mean, sometimes it comes out really balanced and you have to work at it. But no, it can look really good. So, and remember, the flaws in these cameras are what makes them. That's what I kind of look for most of all. What doesn't work about it? And if you sort of work within that range of its flaws, you can really achieve something that maybe looks a bit original, a bit different, interesting, whatever. The history that I've had with this camera, as well as taking pictures, I would surf, bike, hike. I had my power kites. I would attach it to kites. I would do all sorts. But due to injuries or an injury, I'm unable to do any of that now, which is basically turned this into just a stills camera. But it was good for all these things and fantastic. And again, put them in a frame, put it in something, protect it. Shooting with the camera, there is one thing that does happen with like a wide angle lens, is that no matter what if you go out and you're used to a view, and you take it with a wide angle lens, it can obviously change it, but you can interpret things really differently, and it can be quite forgiving. It can make, especially if you're doing architecture or something, it can make it really interesting. Or landscapes. If you go and do a landscape on this wide angle, and you have to get closer to it. So if you've got a hill, shoot from the bottom of the hill, or whatever, if that works for you, and it can look really dramatic, especially if you work on it in Photoshop or whatever software you use. And that'll be something else I'll be doing. That reminds me. We'll be looking at software and what I use, because I'm not a purist when it comes to photography. 90% of my pictures are just off the camera, and that sounds purist, but it's not. But if I see something that I want to work on and change, and just do it. I don't really care. I mean, I'm not, oh God, this is like about photography, but it's not, because it's about art. So mess with something, I don't know, just, I don't mind that. I don't mind if someone's done a lot of work on a photo just to make it look interesting as a work of art, because primarily that's what I'm wanting to do here, that I've mentioned before, that it's art, it's not necessarily photography. Because photography for me is still work. It's still shooting with Sonys and them set up and boring lighting and click, 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 and taking products, and I just don't care. But, and the one of my favourite styles of photography is street photography. I love, and that's to capture a particular thing, a point of view, and things like that. But I go to street photography with a different view. How can I take this and turn it into almost something else? It goes through my filter, whatever this mess is in my head, and comes out as a picture. And whether people like that approach or not, it's not relevant. It's just something I do to make myself happy and enjoy an image and turn it into something. But like I say, it seems like I do at the mall like that. It's not. The majority of the pictures I do are just directly off the camera. If there's anything done, it's a bit of brightness and contrast, because something could be a bit weak or something. But I don't pick apart a picture until I decide to pick apart a picture, and then it's completely destroyed and turned into something else. But that's just me being arty-farty and full of myself, and just nonsense. But that's what I do. So what we're going to do now is go out and try and get some shots with this. I don't know if you can hear, one of my neighbours is a hairdresser, and when the young ladies come to get the hair, they don't just say hello, they scream, ah, like this. So I don't know if it's picking up, but I'm certainly hearing it. So we'll get on with taking some pictures. I'll go out, see what I can find. I might even try and take pictures of people. Ugh. Right, we're now out and about, and it's actually quite mild, very sunny, which will make a bit more difficult pictures, but that's not a problem. We will continue and see what we can get. Now I'm going up this street that's down at the front. The waterfront's just this way and the trains are just here as well. So I'm going to take some pictures of the tracks and see what I can get here. There's some nice buildings, but this road I'm wanting to get a picture going up a little bit, and I think the camera's set up to go. Yeah, I'm going to do these 16:9 as well to take full advantage of the widest. Well, I've maybe walked too far, I'll go back a bit. I keep forgetting how wide angle this is, and for the buildings and landscapes you have to get right up to the buildings essentially, but it can be quite effective. I just forgot what I was doing there for a minute. Not like me, don't ever assume I'm going to forget what I'm doing from minute to minute and then go off on tangents. And actually I could get right across the road here. Another reason I came down here as well is this building looks quite nice. There's a new bridge here, it's a few years old now, but it's relatively new. And it looks nice, and I thought, okay, we could give that a go and see what happens. So I think I'll need to get a lot closer. Yeah, it's far too far away. So I'll walk up, go over the bridge, have a look, see if there's any trains coming. But like I said before, this camera is just great for things being in focus, making everything look a bit dramatic. I think I'll get right under this support. I like that. I am occasionally looking at the screen on the back, but not that much, to be honest. Just always like the surprise. The screen is, sorry, the sun is so bright, it's really hard to see the screen today to know if I've even got anything, but part of the fun. It's good to see the bridge being used though. It used to be really quiet when they first built it. Nobody used it. Well, I think that'll do, and we'll see what we can get out of that. So this is using the DJI Action 1. Really wide angle, and it's on a 16:9 format, which is maybe too wide. I should have done maybe the 4:3. Who cares? It's all what it looks like in the end. So until next time,